You know, last Christmas, I want to show you something. Last Christmas, somebody gave me this crystal globe of the world. And with it came a little note, and the note said, very simply, "I'm sure you will appreciate the significance of this." And I thought, yes, there's 2 or 3 wonderful significances of this. First, of course, obviously, it's a wonderful focal point when each day in our meditations we pray for the world. We pray for all humanity. We pray for the upliftment of the world. What does that mean, though? What does that actually mean? What are we praying for? And how do we pray for the world like that? Well, this was so significant to me because of what Guruji explained about how if we pray for the world, visualizing the way God sees the world, and that is in this whole creation, in the whole cosmos, in our earth and all of creation symbolized by this globe, is that great light of God suffusing the world, permeating the world with the light of Christ consciousness, the joy and the beauty and the nobility of Christ consciousness. Guruji said, you know, his book about the teachings of Christ, the second coming of Christ. In that book, in one place, he explains about the title, The Second Coming of Christ. And he said, you know, the first coming of Christ was at the dawn of creation, was at the very beginning of creation. And he gives this illustration. He says, he shows how, I'm going to show you. He shows how in the beginning when there was only Spirit, when there was only God, and then in that Spirit vibrated a creation out of himself, and then in that sphere, in that creation, was reflected that light of Spirit. You take that away, then there's just formless light. In creation is suffused with that light, with that glory of divine consciousness. So that's something that each of us can focus on when we pray for the world. Second thing, it goes along with that. You know, it's so beautiful. How is the world able to receive the light? Well, that's symbolized in this also because it's transparent, it's translucent, it's pure, it's able to receive that light. You know, in the times that we live in, the world there's so much darkness, there's so much inharmony, there's so much ungodliness that clouds, that darkens, that prevents the real manifestation, the real expression of that light of Christ consciousness. But as devotees of this path, as followers of Kriya Yoga, as meditators, as faithful practitioners of the sadhana that our Guru gave, each one of us can just use this as a mental picture, really as an affirmation that this is what the world should be, this is what the world really is. When we pray for world peace, visualize the world becoming transparent, becoming filled with that light of Christ consciousness. And beyond the prayers that we give each day in our meditations, beyond that, what also increases that light? What also increases that transparency to the divine manifestation in the world? It's the individual devotee's efforts and relationship with God, efforts in meditation, efforts at awakening that soul consciousness, at awakening that light within him or herself. So let's hold that positive thought and that visualization in our meditations as we pray for God's light to illumine our troubled world. This is what, let's see, here we go. Come on. There we are. Okay. See, that's what you all are working towards, right? Jai Guru. All right, I just had a little fun with you. Guruji said this. Let me read you some of his words. He said, the first coming of Christ was at the birth of creation. So Christ was born not only in the body of Jesus. Christ consciousness was already manifest in all creation. Jesus tuned in with and manifested that Christ consciousness. Thus, Guruji says, Christ consciousness has actually already come a second time in the body of Jesus, and it has also come in the bodies of Mahavatar Babaji, in the body of Bhagavan Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Sri Yukteswar, all the great ones. And he says, most importantly, that same Christ must be born in your consciousness. That's your Guru talking to you. That same Christ, let it be born in your own consciousness. And he says that is the meaning of the second coming of Christ.